Place to be Nation Pop Experience. Welcome to the second episode of Play While You Listen. For those who weren't here for the first episode, this is a podcast we'll be covering the biggest news in video games for the previous month and the next month's releases. This month's docket is April of the releases. And my guest for this month, now I've known him my whole life, but he is going to be brand new to your earbuds. His name is Justin Shifflett, who is my little brother. Justin, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Scott. Thank you for asking. I'm really happy to be here.
Before we jump into the pod proper, I know your video game history. Why don't you tell the listeners your video game history?
Right. Well, I think it really all started for me is like when you and I and our other brother, we all shared a room together, and I used to watch you guys play Madden years and years and years ago. I don't know if you remember that. But then, or watching you guys play the old Batman Returns game on, I think it was the Sega, but I don't even quote me on that. Or watching, our dad play Resident Evil, and all four of us just kind of be huddled around him and just playing video games from there. I really liked Crash Bandicoot. I think that was probably one of the first games I ever played actually by myself was Crash Bandicoot, and that really just kind of kicked it off for me from there.
Yeah, and you're not the biggest wrestling fan. I did drag you to WrestleMania 32, but I do remember you playing, I want to say SmackDown Here Comes the Pain so much with Rey Mysterio that you played that and just made him basically a god in that game. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. It's so funny you bring that up. Yeah, Rey Mysterio and all his attributes were maxed out, dude. I was knocking people out with a single kick to the head. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, you had him pretty OP in that game, which is saying something. Yeah. So getting into that, what are your favorite games to play?
I kind of narrowed it down. I made a list, but it was a really big list, and I had to kind of really shorten it up. But my number 5 is Horizon Zero Dawn. I just picked that title up probably within the last 2 months or so.
And listeners, I've been telling him for years to buy this game, and I love him, but he's a little hard-headed.
Wildly stubborn. But yeah, I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm actually at the end of the first game, so I'm about to be on the final mission, but I loved it so much. The experience, how beautiful the game is, it's really sucked me in. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, and the story. I'm such a sucker for a good story. The game could be awful, but if it has a great story, I'm gonna finish it. Very narrative-based player. My 4th one is the God of War 2018. This is a very personal one for me because I played it twice, before I was a father and after I became a father, and that story hits you a lot harder after you've become a dad. So that story actually made me cry towards the end. Just the emotion of it.
The first time or the second time you played it?
The second time, sorry. Yeah, the second time I played after my son was born.
All right. And what's number 3?
My number 3 is something that you and I share. It was on your list as well, but Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah, that's a great game. That's when Assassin's Creed definitely hit its peak.
Right. And I found it randomly. This is a kind of cool story behind this. It's when I came back from overseas, we just got a bunch of random stuff, and then one of the bags was this video game, for the 360, and I had an Xbox at the time, so I was like, cool, I haven't played Assassin's Creed in years, and I played it and just fell in love with it, and I love pirate stuff to this day, so it was a big impact on me.
Yeah, that like I said, I've been chasing that high with Assassin's Creed. It came close with I want to say Origins, but or Odyssey. I think it's Odyssey, the one with the Greek mythology. But I tried to play Valhalla, I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I have it. I have it on my PS5 as well. I have they were all on sale the last year and a half. So I picked up Origins, Odyssey, Syndicate, the one in France, I can't remember the name of it. Unity, thank you. And Valhalla, and I picked them all up for probably less than $100 for the whole set.
Yeah, that's a pretty good thing, but we just need to be unemployed to be able to play these video games. And
Yeah, they're all queued up. I can't play them.
Yeah, that's trust me, that's I feel that right now. And what's your number 2?
Pokemon Crystal is another one that you and I shared.
Yeah, our grandmother actually bought it for us, and thankfully we had 2 different Game Boys, so we could play it on 2 different games, so we weren't overwriting each other like we did, as I mentioned last episode with our, when you got Red. So yeah, I understand Crystal being the best one because it has 16. No, yeah, it has the 16 badges. You can go to Kanto and Johto, and it I really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, and I love the legendary Pokemon in that one. I just hit me so much harder than like Red, Blue, and Yellow did. Because I loved Suicune and I loved Entei and Raikou. I thought they were just such cool legendary Pokemon. Big fans.
Yeah, and this leads you to your number 1, which honestly, it's probably my number 1 if it's called Time Wasted in Destiny, which is a website which I've looked at a couple of times and made me sick. But I buried the lead. What's your number 1?
It is Destiny 2 is my number 1 pick.
Yeah, it's a hell of a game. Just, Lightfall, that new expansion just came out too. Campaign reviews weren't the greatest, but the quality of life and the new raid is a lot of fun. But we'll be diving into Destiny a little bit more as we get to the big news for the month. But yeah, Justin, looking at this, it looks like you're a Sony boy, which, like me, we grew up with the PlayStation, and then I think when you were overseas, you were basically like, I was supporting you like I had like a side chick on the side. I was buying you all the DS and all the Pokemon games. Just tell me more about all the Pokemon games that you played while being deployed.
Dude, that is not a joke either. I was because I have all of that in a box, and I was going through my stuff the other day, and I wish I had the DSs like anyway by my drawer, and I played on like on a rainy day or something. But I found all that you sent me, and there was so much Pokemon, and like 3 trips overseas, and I like on my off time just burnt hours into these games, and I had beat Black 2. I was playing. I think I had Heart Gold, and I was playing that, and I really enjoyed Heart Gold. I thought it was so fun. It was really nostalgic too, because that era of Pokemon was really big for us.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and to be honest, I have a Switch now, and it's just my Pokemon. I play Pokemon and Tetris on it. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to mention about these games? Any other games that didn't quite make it cut but were close?
Oh yeah, I got one, and this one will always stick out to me because a buddy of mine, we just sunk hours into this game too. But when I had an Xbox, Halo 3, and like I didn't have live. I was I didn't have live until I was already in the military, but I would just play campaign on Halo 3 at the hardest difficulty as like a challenge, just to see if I could do it. And just spend hours and hours playing that game on its hardest setting. It just burned in my brain as it's a very fond memory to look back on.
Yeah, and you were actually the person that introduced me to Gears of War, because I remember you had that for Xbox, and I would come home from college and just go into your room and just play Gears of War for hours on end.
Yeah, and Gears of War, that was that almost made my list too, because I remember I didn't play Gears of War until Gears of War 2. So like I had missed 1 completely, and I played 2, and I think I got it for Christmas. It was like pretty sure it was like 2008, and my God, did I spend a ton of time on that game too. I thought it was the setting to me is fast. I love post-apocalyptic settings. They're really fascinating to me.
And another game that's on your list, well, a whole series that's not on your list, not even once, and this was my top game. I'm shocked none of the Mass Effect games hit, because I remember, for you listeners that live in Virginia, the big snowstorm of 2010, Justin, I brought one of the Mass Effect games home, and Justin played it and beat it within the whole weekend. This is when we had like 3 feet of snow on the ground, so there was not going anywhere. But I thought he just did like the whole story mode. No, he did all the side missions as well. So I'm shocked that Mass Effect didn't make your list. And you're one of the few people I know who enjoyed Andromeda.
Yeah, and I love Mass Effect. I should have put that on my popular mention. But I love Mass Effect, and I recently replayed the remastered trilogy, I think last summer, and that was so fun too. It was very nostalgic. I think you brought it up like last podcast, but the first one still, even with the remaster, it's still like it's still the first one. You know exactly what I mean if you played the first one. It's still the first one, but
it's a little clunky at points. I hate that.
Yeah. The combat's a little wonky at times. I will say this though.
The second one is the best in my opinion.
The second one is the best from a narrative standpoint, but from a sheer gameplay perspective, I'm a big fan of 3. The combat, just the way you can leap through cover, which you could always do that, but it feels much more fluid. Really just like being able to turn your Omni tool into a blade for close quarters. That was such a cool, like innovative thing.
They definitely cribbed that from Halo with their that Master Chief sword.
Yeah, that was definitely I don't know if it's like quite a shameless ripoff, but it's definitely a very much an inspired idea.
I'm not gonna lie, I might have been looking on eBay to see if I can find that Omni Blade, but that's a story for a different time. I think Emily would murder me if I bought any more video game stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I trophy hunt on occasion. I got like 5 or 6 platinums. Do you trophy hunt? I know you're on PlayStation. You used to be on Xbox. Me and you have went through where we've played PlayStation, Xbox, and now we're back to PlayStation. Do you trophy hunt? Do you go for those platinums?
When I was on the 360, that was a much more common thing for me. I would definitely try to like unlock all the achievements. For the PlayStation now, I really truly have to love the game and how it challenges me in order to do it. Like God of War Ragnarok, I will do it. I'm doing it now currently. Horizon Zero Dawn, same thing. Because the combat and the challenges behind it are just so just not hard, but like very intricate. I enjoy that kind of style, so I'm really forward for that. I did platinum Destiny, which is not like terribly hard. It's you basically play the game and you'll platinum it. But
you play it hardcore, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, if you devote the time to it, and not even like try to do the triumphs or the trophies, but you'll get it done. I mean, it might be a little bit harder now because they took Leviathan out, but
yeah, I don't think it's attainable now. So do you have a comfort game personally, currently, or?
It is Destiny, because Destiny is something I can just throw on and play. And just like kind of like I can just really do whatever I want in that game to like I could run the PvP, or I could go do the strike missions, run story. There was a time in Destiny where there wasn't a lot to do and you could wrap everything up in probably about a day and a half if you really tried. Now there's like such an abundance of content that you really have to pick and choose for what you want to do, which I kind of like that. I'd rather have so much to do versus so little to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know most people, like I'm one of the crazy ones that have three characters, but like I let some of them lapse at points and then catch them up when like new expansions start. So yeah, there's just always something to do. That's why I enjoy it. Also, this is where I got the name for this is I listen to video games while I play video games. So I listen to podcasts while I play video games. So that's where Play While You Listen came from. Right. So jumping in, talking from a comfort game, we're gonna hit some of the biggest video game news of the month, and sadly, we're gonna start off on a somber note with the day we're recording this. Last week we lost Lance Reddick, who not only was a great actor. Me and you love sci-fi. He was in Fringe. He was in The Wire. He was in Oz. Just all these shows, but for us with video games is where he really where it really felt more personal, because he was the actor Silence in the Horizon game, where in that no spoilers because Justin hasn't beaten Horizon and I haven't beaten Horizon Forbidden West. He's a frenemy basically, but like he's like all knowing and everything, and you kind of want to whoop his ass in Horizon, but in Destiny he's the leader. He's voice acted Zavala, who is basically the leader of what they call the Vanguard. And the Vanguard consists, for those of you that don't play, consists of the 3 main guardians, Hunter, Warlock, and Titan. And he's been the Titan guardian Vanguard since this game came out in 2014. So he's been doing the voice acting all 9 years. As we saw, there was an outpouring of support when Zavala when Lance Reddick passed away. Like you had Guardians go to the tower. I did this. I know you did this because we spoke about it. Where they would go and like they have emotes where like you can customize what emote you want, and like doing like standing guard over Zavala, or just like like thanking him, or like I did the one where like you're petting the dog beside him and you're standing there stoically. And Justin, it was even the game meant so much to him, to Lance Reddick. Like so many stories that came out, he was actually playing the game the night before he passed away. His wife, Stephanie Reddick, when she she had to do the horrible thing of saying how she lost him, she actually said in the second paragraph, she shouted out Destiny for like their community and how much he loved the community. Just like how do we go about replacing him? What's your thoughts on him as well?
It's definitely a difficult thing, man. From like a very practical perspective, the question is, do you keep Zavala in the story? And I don't really know the answer to it, but I do know when the voice actress for Sagira, she stopped voicing the character, and her name escapes me at the time, but she's with our we're a big fan of Ben McKenzie between Scott and I because we like the OC, but it's Ben McKenzie's wife. Anyhow,
Marina Markinow.
I can never say her last name either. But yeah, she stopped voicing.
She's the wife in She's the girlfriend in Deadpool.
Yeah. She voiced the character Sagira, and then there was more of a focus on Osiris than Sagira, and then Sagira just had like non-speaking roles, and eventually they kind of wrote Sagira out of the story. I feel like you can't quite do that with Zavala because Zavala is so intricate and so connected to the story in a way that Sagira never was. I think you have to kill off Zavala, unfortunately, it's like almost like it's a double whammy, truthfully. Because there's no real like happy ending for Zavala. Like if you pay attention to Zavala's character, the stoicism, the resolution behind every action and every word, it's all around the defense of the last city, which is cool, really cool story and narratively. But it's also there's only one way out for that character.
Yeah, I agree. And for those of you, I know we're digging deep in the Destiny talk. This won't be every episode, I promise. But if you're playing Destiny in the tower right now where you load into, you can see that there's a memorial for Cade, who was voiced at first by Nathan Fillion, and then he was voiced by Nolan North when they killed him off. And this is new for the newest expansion, and they put in like a memorial for him, but it's also a big memorial. And for the people who have been doing this current season story, we just lost Amanda Holiday this past season. So people think like where the memorial is so big, it's because many people are going to die. And maybe they already had Zavala killed off because, we have this thing called the Light and Dark Saga, and it comes to an end next March or April, where the final shape, the Destiny expansion before, they do whatever comes out. They said it's been a 10-year plan. So I don't want them to replace them. But also, this brings up like another point. I don't want to be quick to say like, oh, we shouldn't do that just because like what the character is, because then like perfect example is Black Panther. When Chadwick Boseman passed away, I was like, no, shouldn't replace him. Just have Shuri do it. And spoiler alert, sorry Justin if you haven't seen it, Shuri becomes Black Panther. So but looking back as I was leading up to it, I was like, we could have just like had a new actor, how we had Terrence Howard replaced by Don Cheadle. We could have just had someone take over because like you're a big comic book fan as well. There's a lot of meat on the bones with I'm blanking on his name. Justin, what's his name?
Not
Chadwick.
T'Challa's character.
Yeah, with T'Challa's character, there's a lot of meat on the bone, because if they want to bring in the X-Men, he's married to Storm in the comics at one point. He funded the Avengers at one point, so like there was a lot more meat on the bone. So I personally think they should have recasted Black Panther. Might be a hot take. If it is, just let me know. I think everyone's 50-50 now, and I just worry like if they we're still wanting to tell a story with Zavala, they should do it. But if they were going to kill him off anyway, then just kill him off like next season. I mean, I know the seasons are there, or just kill him off before the final shape, but he dies in a heroic way, like we've always expected him to die.
Right. And the lore behind Zavala too is like it is like Zavala in like Scott, you know this obviously, but the listeners may not know. Zavala is just a warrior through and through, never going to run from a fight, and like it has to go a certain way, very much so.
And his story is sort of already been told, as he has. It's come to find out this previous year how he lost his wife and his son because they were humans, and he was a guardian, and the guardians are immortal. So it should be just interesting where to go. I feel bad that Lance Reddick lost his life. I feel bad for his family and his loved ones for who they lost, but also with Bungie having to come up with like, oh shit, what do we do? Because Lightfall, they've already got dunked on for the Lightfall campaign not being that great. So now it's just like, salt on the wound, which, this is a human life at play. So things that are more important. So spinning off of that, we're going to go and talk about Suicide Killed the Justice League, which was being made by Rocksteady. Now, it was originally supposed to come out in May. And after a lackluster, to say the least, response at the latest Sony State of Play, it has been moved. Justin, did you get a chance to check out any of the video or the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League?
Nothing. Like I saw the trailers and I thought the trailers looked really good. I was pretty excited for this game, for sure. I'm kind of bummed out that it's been delayed because of the response. But I also understand it from a fan's perspective. You do want it to be what you want it to be, but at the same time, it's an even keel they're trying to find right now. But also as a fan, if it's a bad product and you need more time to make it a better product, 100% do that. I would rather be a satisfied fan than a disheartened fan.
As someone who loved the Arkham games, I talked about how Arkham City is one of my favorite games last month. It was completely disheartening with what I saw from that. It looked like an Avengers ripoff, and that Avengers game was not fun. It was just like bosses were bullet sponges, witty lines here and there. And, with the Arkham games, we were really known for the stealth and everything. And I think what a lot of people is, it came out that the game has to be tethered to internet all the time, which, me and you play Destiny, we don't have a problem with it. But sometimes we like to play first person games. Like you playing God of War, I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy right now. And with that, and they have like a live service that appears, and not only that, but a season pass type thing. And they're like, that's how you can get like new attires and stuff. Yeah. And it's like, well, we don't want that. Like, we want, we don't want that. We want to be able to play the game, just.
Yeah. And you're right, because the Arkham games were just so good how they were, and there was nothing really terribly extra with them. It was a stealth-based game. You could do this devastating combos, take on 40 dudes at once without even breaking a sweat in the game. And I think you trying to do something like the Avengers game is, one, that's not a good model, because the Avengers game is
shutting down at the end of this year. So
yeah, and I have that game. I played it. I enjoyed the initial, vanilla story. Didn't get any of the DLCs though, because I was like, I enjoy this game from a narrative standpoint, but I'm just not going to continue to play it after I beat the main story, and I didn't.
Yeah, it's like trying to be like a Destiny light, and you can't really do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I sink so much time into Destiny as is now. There's no way, shape, or form where I could do the exact same with another game. that's based around the concept of what Destiny is.
Yeah, and like I just want, and like, you know, it's like a Q4 of 2023. So, you know, Q4 runs from October of 2023 to March of 2024. So we might not even see this game this calendar year. Right. But like it's too late. They've been working, like, the last Arkham game came out on the PS3. No, PS4, my apologies. But I think it was a PS3 port. But it's just like, you've been working on this game for so long, and like, this is the best you could do type deal. And it's just very frustrating. It's like, I know, like, studios change. It's like, you know, one step forward, two steps back type deal. But it's very upsetting. And, you know, I may buy the game, but it may be one of those games where you buy it, but like, I only play it with friends. Like, I got Arkham Knights, and I only play it with my buddy Mike Roach. And like, we haven't even beat the game yet, but like, we just play it together. Like, you know, we have time. But it's,
because that one's a fun co-op too, right?
Yeah, it's a fun co-op, but like, I don't, you know, maybe I would want to play it by myself, but like, with Kill the Justice League, I remember being so excited because we had King Shark, Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn, and Deadshot, and I was just like, oh, this is gonna be great. And then like, seeing the stuff, and I was like, I remember like trying to be excited for it, and I was like, if I have to try to be excited for it, it's not gonna work out. So, I mean, you know, the story seems pretty cool. Brainiac is taking over the Justice League, and we got to kill him. So, and it's the last time Batman's actually going to be played by Kevin Conroy before his tragic passing.
Yeah. So, it's been a rough year for a lot of my favorite voice actors.
Yeah. So, this leads us to another game, which technically didn't have a release date, but we now got an official release date. It's Bethesda's next game, and an Xbox exclusive called Starfield, which will be released on September 6th of this year. And Starfield, not going to lie, kind of has me thinking about buying an Xbox for it. Bethesda, for those of you who don't know, they are behind the Elder Scrolls franchise with Skyrim, which, you know, released on PS3, and they pump out like every 3 years on something else like Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto. Starfield, as its name implies, is set in space where players will take on the role of a last group of explorers. It's being described as Skyrim in space. RPG game is going to be playable in first person and third person, but primarily it's first person. The story is centered on Constellation, the last group of space explorers. And it's like, you got character customization. You can join different, like, just like in Skyrim, you can join different factions and how that goes. But it's set in space. Justin, there's rumors that you will be flying around and might be able to have space battles as well. And it's saying like they'll have 1,000 planets for players to explore. Now, what bothers me with this is the last time I heard of a game that has multiple planets to explore, I got No Man's Sky, which I've heard they turned it around, but I bought that game and I was just like, I obviously need to be tripping acid to really enjoy this game at the moment. So, Justin, what are your opinions on Starfield?
I really like the concept of it. It's just, I like sci-fi. You know, that is one of my more favorite realms of fiction. And I really like the concept of space combat. I've always, I've just, you know, growing up in our household and watching Luke Skywalker fight it out in an X-wing, that's cool stuff to me. And, you know, I love stuff like that. And I love space combat. The idea of it, rather. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the one that came out in PlayStation 2, had a great space battle. So I get excited about when I see stuff like that. I just hope that the execution matches up to like everyone's excitement.
I feel it will be, because Bethesda is, you know, they don't really let us down. I mean, they do let us down. They re-release the same game 10 damn times. Justin, here's how old I tried to buy Skyrim when I first started working where I work at now in the fall of 2011 for the PS3. I now have a PS5 now. No, not even PS3, the Xbox. I then got in a car crash because a deer decided it was going to run into the side of my car on the way home that night. But that's another story. All right. So we knocked out some big news for the month, and way video games go, there will be more, and we'll get to them next month, or just not talk about them. But let's get to the April releases for video games, which normally kind of a dead spot for video game releases is the spring and summer, but that does not seem to be the case this month. I pulled this from BG247.com, which is a website I've used for years. And we're going to hit 4 of these and then talk about them and then just go with the next 4. So the first game that comes out April 4th. It's called Meet Your Maker. It comes out on PC, PS4, and 5, both Xboxes. And it's a post-apocalyptic first-person building and raiding game where every level is designed by players. Play solo or with a friend as you mastermind devious maze-like outposts full of traps and guards. And then gear up for methodical, fast-paced combat raiding other players' creations. Kind of sounds like Fortnite and PUBG just combined, to be completely honest. The next game, Road 96 Mile Zero, which is for the PC, the PlayStation, Xbox consoles, and the Switch. It's a narrative adventure game with a musical component created by Digix Art, the French studio behind the successful Road 96. 1111 Memories Retold. So this is like a game winner, and the players will alternate between the roles of Zoe and Kato, 2 teenagers with different backgrounds and beliefs. They live and explore White Sands, a luxurious condominium where Petra's elites reside and where Kato's parents work. This kind of looks like if Guitar Hero had like a story mode, basically from the little bit that I saw.
Yeah, and that's what it kind of sounds like too. It's definitely, yeah, I agree. That's definitely and it's like a patchwork too, because like you have these 2 different backgrounds coming together and clashing. So it's like it's almost like what's that movie with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte?
48 Hours.
Yes, but without the crime.
No idea.
Or no, Trading Places, Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. So.
Yes. Okay. Yes, that's
more
a big
like that.
difference. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that got silly.
It's a big difference in the 80s, Justin. All right, and here's a movie. Here's a video game. You got me talking about movies. Video game that looks like one of those when you're playing a mobile game and the ad pops up. It's called Movie House: The Film Studio Tycoon. Which, not gonna lie, the name sounds pretty cool until I looked at some of the graphics. Welcome to the big show, and this comes out on PC April 5th. Ready the camera, unleash your creativity, and create the flicks you've always dreamed of. Grow your operation with razor-sharp business sense and usher in a new era for filmmakers worldwide. It looks like it's basically great value Sims. We're making movies or something. I've never been a Sims fan, but this looks like you can just play it on your phone, and like they say, like every 12 hours, like you'll get like a free golden ticket or whatnot. So that's where it is. And the 4th game before we stop and talk these over is Curse of the Sea Rats. Already interesting name. It's coming out on PC, PS4, the PlayStations, Xbox, and the Switch. And embark on an epic hand-animated Radio Vandania adventure where your crew has been turned into rats by a pirate witch. Explore a rich non-linear world. Explore fun action platforming, face challenging bosses, and unlock unique abilities either alone or in local co-op. This is a 2D scroller. Kind of gave me some Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis vibes when I took a look at it. Personally, not for me, but I could see how it could be fun if you if we were younger, Justin. I could see me and you like playing this game at our house.
When I read this, I thought about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game, and that's what like really permeated in my head when I read that description.
That's very true. All right, so those 4, I don't think I would buy any of them, to be honest. Would you buy any of those 4?
No, I can't say that I would. Like Meet Your Maker kind of sounds cool, but it does, like you said, it does sound like a Fortnite PUBG kind of conglomeration, but like, and not really big into the battle royale concept.
Those games are only fun, I've come to realize, if you're playing with friends and you're drinking, like just like having fun, not trying to get anything done.
It's not something like I would load into by myself, for sure.
All right. So the next 4 is we got Everspace 2. the official launch for PC. And Everspace is a fast-paced single-player spaceship shooter with worthwhile exploration in space and on planets. Kind of sounds like Starfield to me. Tons of loot, RPG elements, mining and crafting. Experience a thoughtful sci-fi story set in a vivid, handcrafted world full of open secrets, puzzles, and perils. I'm not going to lie, this sounds pretty good, Justin, but I am already on a PC 8 hours a day. This is why I'll never switch over to PC. I'd much rather just sit on my couch and play video games. This sounds like a lot of fun, though. It's pretty sweet. All right, and up next is Raven's Watch, which is a Steam early access, so obviously PC, and this is coming out April 6th. And it's a top-down roguelike action game, which I'm already out, sorry, that combines intense real-time combat with deep gameplay and high replay value. And it's like after the success of Curse of the Dead Gods, like past tech returns with a new formula and game experience that can be played solo or up to 4 players in co-op. I'm just like, not for me, type deal. So that leads us to a game I think actually both of us would buy. It's called Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened. Comes out on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Experience a nerve-wracking, Lovecraftian adventure rebuilt from the ground up with modern graphics and gameplay. Become Sherlock Holmes and find yourself at the heart of a terrifying Cthulhu mythos as you investigate a series of mysterious disappearances in Europe and the U.S. This was a Kickstarter project because the original game came out in the mid-2000s. So, I'm always weary when we have a Kickstarter project, especially with video games. But I'll definitely wait for the reviews before I check this out. It looks like a lot of fun to me. So before we talk about which ones we play, we have one more. It's called Voodalls, which is a PC coming out April 13th. Voodalls is an online co-op tower defensive experience steeped in the dark and mysterious world of voodoo. Players will engage in battles against 12 plan-hold stages featuring 3 difficulty modes and an endless mode with the goal of being to hold back wave after wave of enemies to keep you captive, which kind of sounds like Call of Duty Zombies to me. So of those 4, Justin, I have a feeling where you would go, but why don't you tell our listeners?
I would definitely play Sherlock Holmes. I love Sherlock Holmes. I've always been a fan of obviously like him in the media. There used to be like this really crazy animated show back in the 90s with Sherlock Holmes in the future, but that's another conversation. I also love Cthulhu because the Lovecraft came up with this crazy wild universe, and like it's probably like the most haunting things I've ever actually read. So just kind of combining those two is actually really fascinating. Like it's a detective story, and you investigate the occult. I'm sold.
Yeah, that might be a game I wait for. Like PlayStation always has deals, and we just go from there. The next 4 that we have is Beyond the Log Night, which is a PC game. Explore a whimsical underground world while being chased by a mysterious corrupting force in this charming twin-stick action roguelike. Befriend lovable characters, fend off enemies with chaotic abilities, and uncover the secrets of the subterranean kingdom caught in a time loop. Doesn't sound like a game for me, which normally it does, but seeing whimsical there, I don't know, not for me. The next game up, we have Mega Man Battle Network Legacy, which is for the PC, PS4, and Switch, which is releasing a bunch of Mega Man games, which I'm just going to try to roll through them all, but it's Mega Man Battle Network, Mega Man Battle Network 2, Metal Man Battle Network 3, White, Metal Man Battle Network Blue, Mega Man Battle Network 4 Red Sun, Mega Man Battle Network 4 Blue Moon, Mega Man Battle Network 5 Team Proto Man, Mega Man Battle Network 5 Team Colonel, Mega Man Battle Network 6 Side Beast Gregar, and Mega Man Battle Network 6 Side Beast Falzer. Whatever, if that game is $40, sounds like you're definitely getting your money's worth for this. And I guess, Justin, coming up with this next game, April is the month of we're trying to reboot Guitar Hero and Rock Band because we have God of Rock, which is coming out for PC, the PlayStations, and the Xbox and Switch, which it opens its, I love this tagline, God of Rock opens its world tour on April 18th, 2023. unleashing a stacked set list of energetic tracks that players will need to master to perform devastating combos in musical matches against other fighters. Sounds like Def Jam for Vendetta, but instead of like just being a straight up fighter, you gotta like, get the chords down before you start whooping everyone's ass. And the last game we'll talk about in this batch of 4 is Minecraft Legends, which is PC, PS, the PlayStation's, Xbox, and the Switch, which seems to be it's an upcoming action strategy game developed by Mojang Studios and Blackbird Interactive. It's a spinoff of Minecraft. I've never played Minecraft. I think that's something that I was too old for when it came out. Just not for me. So, Justin, of these 4, would you be buying any of them?
I would not want to buy. I don't want to buy any of them, I'll be honest. The Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, by the way, is like, what is their naming structure? I just wanted to comment on that the entire time you were saying it. It is crazy.
I don't know. It feels like the Pokemon, so I really can't throw shade. So
true.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. I'm not sure. I've never been a Mega Man fan. So with this next 4, I know me and you are probably going to be buying at least one. The next one is Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC. And actually, in the past couple of days, some more came out about this. This DLC takes place at the end of the Forbidden West game. You can't play it until you're done with that. So I'm going to have to finish that game finally. The developers say they're going to be using the whole power of the PS5, which is interesting to see. I like the haptics when you pull back on the bow. So I'm really interested to see that. And that comes out April 19th. And then we have Arcania of Paradise, the Tower on PC or Switch coming out on April 20th. And you can choose from 20 children and perfect this is a deck battling game, and perfect your deck as you battle against the tower's bizarre inhabitants in real time, time your guards, combo your attacks. This sounds more like a mobile game. I don't know how it's going to be out on the PC and Switch. Just if you want to play a mobile card game, just play Marvel Snap. That's a fun game. All right, and then we have 10 Hearts, which PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, behind ever brilliant. Every brilliant invention hides a magical story. Guide a troop of soldiers through a magical toy-filled land in this investigative, immersive narrative puzzle adventure from the members of the team that brought you Fable. Now, with it being Fable, that kind of heightens my senses because that's a game that I've always wanted to play because it's a lot of fun and it's just an Xbox exclusive. So I'm real interested in that. But, when it says like the group of 10 soldiers, Justin, do you remember this game that came out on PlayStation where you were little green army men?
Yeah, the Army Men game, dude. Yeah. I sunk hours into that game too.
Yeah,
that game was frustrating. That game was frustrating.
Oh, that's what it sounds like. And leading out this 4 right here is Stray Blade, which is just a PC, PlayStation 5, and an Xbox X exclusive. So for the current gens, not the older gens. And it's an action-adventure game where you play a rogue adventurer exploring the ancient valley of Archaea with your companion, the Exinian Wolf Boji. Unveil the history of the Forgotten Valley and master the powers of 3 Archaean metals to restore balance to this war-torn land. All right, out of these 4, Justin, what are you rocking with?
Definitely going to go with the Horizon Zero Dawn DLC, which I also have the second game, and I have yet to play it yet. Not because of just, not wanting to. That the time is the issue. Yes. But I'm very excited to play Forbidden West. So the fact that I'm rolling into it when they have, I won't have to wait for the DLC, As soon as I get done with that, it'll be here. And I'm like, that's cool, I kind of like that for myself. Yeah, I can just run through it, I won't have to wait, which is nice.
What about any of the other games?
Nothing really catches my eye too much. 10 Hearts maybe, but Stray Blade is kind of a cool concept, though. I do like the fantasy element of a lot of games. Especially here recently, I've gotten extremely more in my nerd stuff as I've gotten older. So fantasy is definitely more appealing to me than what it used to be.
Yeah, that game sounds like a lot of fun. Actually, so does like the 10 Hearts, but I'm unsure. But looking at the Stray Blade right now, it just I don't know. I would have to see gameplay.
It'll be one of those things. If I like it, I'll wait till it's on sale.
Exactly. So yeah, that's just where we're going with that. So this leads us to the biggest game coming out. Some of the biggest games that are coming out in April, and this game we're coming up with now is a sequel to a 2011 game. That's how long people have been waiting for this. This game was first announced in 2014, and I am talking about Dead Island 2. It's coming out for PC, PlayStation, Xbox. They even have Stadia here, but that shut down, so that's not happening. Dead Island came out when the zombie genre was at the top, but the first game was a lot of fun. It has horror, dark humor, and over-the-top zombie slaying. Except instead of taking place on a island this time, you're in a hellish vision of L.A., or as they're calling it, Hell-A. And it's just going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to this. I played a little bit of the first Dead Island. I might check this one out. It's one of those things as I get older, like especially with video games, I wait for reviews now. So that's where we go. But we got a couple more games to talk about. And the next one is Advance Wars 1 and 2, which is a reboot camp on the Switch. This is just 2 reboots of strategic turn-based combat as your advisor for an army. And this is just 1 and 2 of this. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to find that much information on this, but you control land, air, and naval units across the battlefield. If you like those types of games, you'll enjoy this. And the next game is Roots Apache, which is coming out April 25th. Which this kind of sounds like Civilization, because it says be a part of the thriving Stone Age community, discover ideas, domesticate crops, befriend animals, and contribute to the growth of your village. Play with friends in co-op or explore the early days of Civilization in single player. This basically sounds like Civilization, but you're just stuck in the Stone Age. What do you think of that, Justin?
I'm not. It's not like I'm not a fan of it because I've never really played it, but it just does not spark joy in my heart when I see stuff like that. I was like, that just doesn't sound for me.
No, not at all. And the last of this 4 is called Afterimage, which is PC, the PlayStations, and the Switch. This is April 25th. Reveal the hidden secrets of a fantasy land in Afterimage. Explore the magnificent landscapes and ruins of an ancient metropolis, meeting mysterious colossal beings and adorable Roman spirits along the way. The thrilling adventure of this marvelous 2D hand-drawn world awaits you. Not going to lie, they had me to the last sentence because I was just imagining everything in 3D. With 2D, I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm just not a fan of it. I feel like we've come too far to go back to 2D. So not personally for me. So these 4, Justin, what are you thinking?
I definitely would lean more towards Dead Island 2. I played a little bit of the first one as well, and I was really the concept was very novel at the time because there wasn't a lot of zombie games that incorporated the things that Dead Island had, you know?
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, and especially the crazy zombie kills should be a lot of fun.
Oh, and we've been playing zombie games for the better part of 25 years now. So
especially with the Resident Evil.
Exactly. So this is just like more part of the course, really, for us.
Yep. So we got a couple games here, and I'm gonna skip the last game because I want to talk about that by itself. Well, actually, we have a lot, so we're just gonna have to talk about it with this one. All right, so we have the next game is called Strayed Lights. It's coming out on PC, the PlayStations, the Xbox, and the Switch. Explore a dark and oniric world of rampant nature and corrupted cities. Embody a tiny being of light on its path towards awakening. Fight your inner demons and restore your balance. It sounds like it's discussing my life right now. So, this game actually sounds pretty cool. It sounds like one of those games that's either going to be great or it's going to be terrible. Like, I can see reviews just being like, game of the year, you got to check this out, all this stuff. And, it seems like we're hitting some going with this next game, Lovecraft is on the menu for the month of April, Justin. The Last Case of Benedict Fox. Take on The Last Case of Benedict Fox and dive into the twisted world of secret organizations, forbidden rituals, and cold-blooded murderers. Explore the memories of deceased victims as you search for clues and fight demons in this fantastical Lovecraftian Metroidvania. And this comes out on PC and the Xbox. It actually sounds like a lot of fun. Also sounds like a little bit like Sherlock Holmes that we talked about that comes out 2 weeks earlier. So, might take away some of that thunder. Next game is Proto-Droid Delta, which is a PC, PS4, the Xbox, and the Switch, which you can tell how long this has been in since it's not coming out for the next-gen consoles. Reach your potential in a fast and fluid 3D action platformer in a beautiful and hopeful solar punk world. Take on challenging bosses, upgrade your systems, and show the humanity the promise of AI. All right, Justin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
This next game has you written all over it. Also has Andy Atherton, the boss of this podcast feed, written all over it. It comes out for the PC, the PlayStation 5, and the Xbox X. And I am talking about Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This is definitely going to be the game of the month. I know I was just saying Dead Island will be, but this is, people have been looking forward to this for quite a bit. Star Wars as well. But I know that people love the first Star Wars Jedi game. We had the story of Cal Kestis continues in the Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a galaxy-spanning third-person action-adventure game. And Justin, you played the original, right?
I played bits and pieces of it, but I did not play it to completion. But I really, really liked what I played. I had a lot of fun.
And this guy Cal, he was a Sith, right?
No, Cal was he was a Jedi Padawan during the Clone Wars. And when Order 66 happened, which I don't want to give away too much, but when Order 66 happened, that's where the game starts.
Beautiful. Sounds amazing. Might have to check that out, see if it's free or something. So
it is so fun. It is so fun.
Yeah, I've been on a Star Wars kick, especially with the way Mando's been great, which Mandalorian is the best Star Wars thing, and specifically Grogu since the original. But this is not a Star Wars podcast. I could turn it into one, but I am not. So, we got 4 more left for this month, and we're going to hit them hard. All right, so welcome to Goodland, PC game. It's a strategy adventure game set in a small, quiet town. Survive as an ordinary salaryman under a ruthless Mexican cartel by laundering money, making tough decisions, acquiring businesses, and finding allies you can trust. But in this cutthroat world, you'll be able to keep your humanity. This sounds like Breaking Bad.
This sounds like Breaking Bad without meth.
Yes, and without, having cancer. The next game up, which does not have a release date as of yet. This may get pushed. It just says April 2023. Video game 24/7. Get your shit together. It's called Tron Identity. It's come out for PC and the Switch, which is weird that Xbox and PlayStation are being left off. But something has been taken. Enter a new grid and forge alliances via visual novel gameplay. Uncovering truths through identity disc puzzles. Make critical decisions and plot your own course in a world without a creator. To be honest, I've never seen any of the Tron movies or never played any of the video games, but I do know Tron is beloved, so hopefully this is a good game and not a crappy, adaptation of a Disney product, which we've seen before. And this, what's coming up next is Star Trek Resurgence, PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, the Xboxes. This also does not have a release date in April, just says April, and it's an interactive narrative video game that tells an original story and choice-driven adventure set within the iconic sci-fi universe. From that description, it sounds like it's going to be postponed. I wouldn't be shocked if it was, and I'm talking about this later this year. But I love where it looks like our choices are going to mean something sort of like Mass Effect, so that's going to be interesting. It's going to have characters that we already know and love, so it should be interesting. And then the last game of the month, this is a Steam Early Access game, and it just comes out in April as well. It's called Cook Serve Forever. It's a cooking adventure game where you play as Norgi Kaga, a home-talk chef with nothing to her name but a food cart and a dream. Manage your menu, learn delicious recipes, and meet a diverse cast of friends and foes on your way to culinary greatness. This is another game that just sounds like when you're playing a mobile game on your phone and you're like, hey, I need to watch this ad, and this is what pops up. Definitely not for me, but, these games make money hand over fist. So of these last 4, Justin, what are you feeling?
Welcome to Goodland actually sounds really fun. If I had a PC, that would be something I would probably lean into because I like the juxtaposition of the moral decisions. I love games and media, books, whatever that explore those concepts. So that one really caught my eye. Star Trek Resurgence. I'm not super big into the Star Trek universe, but it is vast and there is so much. There's so much material there that's unexplored. So like they could really have that game set whenever, and it's canon. So that's really cool too. I do kind of like that idea as well.
Yeah, if they just had like the new Captain Kirk, Chris Pine, I can get behind that. I know that's hearsay for what normal Star Trek fans, but hey, I watched those movies. That's what I enjoyed. All right, and that brings a close to episode 2 of Play While You Listen. Now, Justin, I know this was your first podcast. How was it?
I really enjoyed it, man, and we really broke down like our likes and dislikes about what we read. So, and get to hang out with you for a little bit. So that's always fun for me.
Yes, it is. And before we get out of here, I enjoyed hanging out with you too, little brother. And before we get out of here, is there anything you'd like to plug?
No, but I do want to kind of say this, and I feel like I didn't get really to say it earlier, but rest in peace, Lance Reddick. I really wish you all the best and your family the best, and just really wanted to thank you for all the good memories that I don't know you at all, but you really gave me a lot of good memories from your portrayals as an actor to your voice acting. So really just thank you so much for that.
I couldn't say it better. One thing I do, I usually, with other podcasts, I hype the other ones. Just check out all the podcasts on the 3 feeds. I can be found on Twitter at Scott_Shifflett. And if you want to play with me on PlayStation, I can be found at ScottTheo89. I'm usually playing Destiny. So thank you and have a nice night.